With Thanksgiving behind us, Christmas season is officially underway, even though some retailers start before Halloween's even finished. So today I'm going over some gift ideas for yourself or the whiskey lover in your life. Stick around. Fellas, welcome back. It's Robert, your everyday gentleman. And you probably know by now that my drink of choice when I'm having an adult beverage is whiskey. And it's probably no shocker that this water of life can get pretty expensive. However, being expensive doesn't necessarily make the whiskey great. And on the flip side, a cheaper whiskey doesn't necessarily mean it should only be used for cocktails. So today, I'm going over my favorite whiskeys that are priced below 50 bucks. And with Christmas here, these could make some great gifts for friends, family, or just to take to a holiday party. Now, if you're new to my channel, I want to thank you for clicking on this video. Again, my name is Robert. Here, I talk about everything to do with men's lifestyle, whether it's fashion, fragrances, grooming, fitness, whiskey, cigars, really anything I feel encompasses being a man in today's age. I invite you to subscribe and engage in the comments down below. And to my returning subscribers, I want to thank you for your continued support. And with that, let's jump into it. So as I said in the intro, these are all going to be whiskeys that are priced under $50. And more importantly, these are all delicious in my opinion. However, as with everything, taste preference may differ from person to person. I am by no means a whiskey sommelier, if that's the right way to say it. I'm no Richard Patterson.
And smell it again. Hello. How are you? And there you are, quite well.
I just enjoy a nice glass of whiskey on occasion. And by the way, right now I'm drinking Macallan 12. I think this is the double cask. Yeah, the double cask. This, unfortunately, is not one of the ones that falls under 50 bucks, but it's delicious. And I did get it pretty close to 50 bucks because it was on sale. But if you get a chance, check it out. It's a pretty good one. So like I said, since I'm not a whiskey sommelier, I'm just gonna share with you some of the described nose and palate notes. Aside from the notes that you get from the aroma and the taste, ultimately, to me, what it comes down to is, does it taste good? And again, in my opinion, all 5 of these are delicious. But make sure you let me know in the comments down below which whiskey priced below 50 bucks is your favorite. First one up, Johnnie Walker Double Black. The Beverage Tasting Institute rates this whiskey a 93. This blended Scotch whiskey is from Scotland and is actually the least expensive of the 5. And it's a 40% alcohol by volume. Now, just because it's inexpensive doesn't mean it's not good. In fact, this is probably my favorite because it has great taste, it's so easy to find, and again, very inexpensive. Cat's joining us for the rest of this video, I guess. Now, the description says you get hints of charcoal and burnt timber. It's described as a smoky and spicy whiskey with hints of sweetness, and I definitely agree with this description. It's one that I've introduced many novice whiskey drinkers to, and it's almost always gotten me positive responses. And that isn't always the case, especially with smokier whiskeys. I enjoy Double Black either neat or with a nice cube of ice. Both ways are great in my opinion. And at local retailers around me, I can usually find a 750 ml bottle for about 30 to 35 bucks. The second whiskey, under 50 bucks, is Four Roses Single Barrel. The Wine Enthusiast rates this bottle as a 93. This is a bourbon from Kentucky and is a delicious option from this distiller. It's also a 50% alcohol by volume. Now on the nose, Four Roses Single Barrel has notes of spice, fruit, vanilla, and syrup. And for the palate, the description says you get notes of plum and cherry. Now this is a very nice and smooth whiskey with a very good finish, especially when you just let it sit in your mouth for a few seconds before you actually swallow. That really is the best way to enjoy a whiskey neat when you try to get a real feel for the taste. With as good as this whiskey is, it's no surprise that it's won so many awards. Of the 5, this one is the hardest for me to find, but if you're able to find it, it's definitely worth getting your hands on. Now real quick, before I continue, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you let me know by hitting that like button. It does help out the channel, and again, it lets me know that you enjoy the content that I put out for you. Now let's jump to the next whiskey. Third whiskey on my list is another smoky one, and this is Laphroaig 10. Whiskey Advocate rates this as a 92. Now this Scotch whiskey is from Islay, Scotland, and that area is known for producing some of the smokiest whiskeys you can find. It's a 43% alcohol by volume, and it's an all malt whiskey dried over a peat fire for a unique, full, and rich flavor. Now, of course, in the aromas and the flavors, you are gonna get some of that peat smokiness, actually a lot of it, but you are also gonna find some sweet nuttiness in the whiskey. This is another one I like to drink straight or with an ice cube, sometimes a little splash of water to open up the notes. I'm just a big fan of the smoky aromas and the taste, but I do know that that's not for everyone. But if you know of somebody that's a big fan of smoky whiskeys, this is gonna be a great option. I'm not sure how this is gonna do in a cocktail, but this is one of my go-to drinks when I'm at home or when it's available at a bar. A 750 ml bottle of Laphroaig 10 will usually run you around 40 to 45 bucks. The fourth whiskey on my list is Michter's American Whiskey. Now, although this is distilled in Kentucky, it's technically not a bourbon because it's not aged in new oak. But whatever the technical name of this whiskey, the thing that's certain is that this is delicious. This whiskey is a 41.7% alcohol by volume, and the tasting panel rated it as a 94. This is the whiskey that I was introduced to a while back by my buddy George from the channel Gents Lounge. Its notes are described as butterscotch and vanilla with hints of caramel and dried fruit. It's a delicious alternative to the traditional spiciness you get from most other bourbons. I quickly became a fan after trying it for the first time. So thanks again, George, for introducing me to it. To me, it's a great safe bet for the bourbon lover in your life. And this one I typically find in local retailers for about $40 to $45 for the 750 ml bottle. The last whiskey on my list is Redbreast 12-year single pot. Whiskey Advocate rates this one a 96. Redbreast 12 is a popular, award-winning Irish whiskey. The nose notes are described as citrus and biscuits. The taste itself has toasted oak, brown sugar, and cedar, leading into a creamy feel with candied orange and vanilla. I can find this one pretty easily at a local Bevmo or Total Wine, and the 750 ml bottle is gonna run within $40 to $45. And we first tried this whiskey at a local whiskey bar in downtown LA, and my wife and I quickly became fans of this. To me, this is a much better alternative to the more common Jameson Irish whiskey that you see all over the place. My wife really likes this with a splash of ginger ale, while I prefer it neat or with a splash of water. Either way, it's a great choice for a gift or to take to a holiday party. Now, I know that there's thousands of options when it comes to whiskey. However, I think these 5 options that I mentioned are great options for you to consider. But again, I want to hear from you. Let me know what your thoughts are on these 5 if you've tried them, or let me know other whiskeys that are again priced below 50 bucks that you would recommend. I'm always up for trying a new whiskey. Now, as always, if you found value in this video, I'd appreciate it if you let me know by hitting that like button down below. I'm going to be putting out some more holiday related content, so make sure you subscribe and activate that notification bell so you don't miss any of it. And remember, being a gentleman is an everyday thing. Cheers, fellas.